Hundreds of tractors brought Westminster to a standstill today, the second farmers' protest over proposed changes to tax laws.
John Deere's grip on farmers is slipping fast. When the company raised its servicing prices by 30%, farmers wanted to fight back. What's behind this madness, and how are farmers reacting to the brand they once trusted? Stay tuned to find out. For decades, farmers relied on John Deere not just for equipment, but for partnership, trust, and brotherhood that powered their livelihoods. But little did they know that trust would soon be tested. A once-perfect relationship began to sour as farmers slowly realized that the company they had depended on was now prioritizing control over collaboration. Restrictive repair policies emerged, leaving farmers unable to fix their own equipment without paying exorbitant fees to John Deere. What once symbolized progress and partnership now felt like a betrayal, turning independence into dependence. As frustration started building, farmers began asking, "Why can't I fix my own equipment? After all, when you purchase something, isn't it yours to repair?" And that was how the movement for the right to repair took shape. The movement for the right to repair gained momentum, especially as John Deere's policies became more restrictive. The company's stance was that these regulations were put in place to protect intellectual property, ensure safety, and maintain the integrity of their machines. But to many farmers, it felt like a tactic to extract more money from them, without any consideration of the impact on the farmers. In the past, these farmers could fix their machines, replace faulty parts, and even troubleshoot issues on their own. But now they were forced to rely on John Deere's technicians, who often charged exorbitant fees for something that should have been a simple fix. What started as a minor inconvenience slowly turned into a major point of contention, with farmers across the country speaking out, not just about the inconvenience, but about the impact it had on their livelihoods. They didn't just want to repair their equipment, they wanted the freedom to do so on their own terms. But before we talk about the brave fight that these farmers are putting up, let us throw a little light on how the whole situation went sour. So, what happened? Well, John Deere, once hailed as the symbol of innovation and reliability, slowly transformed into something unrecognizable. A company that had been a trusted partner for generations started prioritizing control over collaboration. The machinery that farmers had long relied on was no longer just a tool, it became a means to lock them out. You see, even though it didn't happen overnight, this shift was undeniable. The company, famous for its high-quality equipment, began embedding proprietary software into its equipment. At first, this software was meant to enhance the farming experience, but it quickly became a weapon to restrict farmers' ability to have full control over their own machines. However, what seemed like a minor change at first quickly spiraled into a major problem. Farmers, once empowered to fix their equipment, now found themselves locked out of their machines, not able to even perform basic repairs without John Deere's certified technicians signing off. And that wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a business killer. Imagine this. You're running a farm, and your tractor, the backbone of your operation, suddenly breaks down. But here's the catch, you can't just fix it yourself. No, now you have to wait for a technician to come out at an outrageous cost, and even then, there's no guarantee that your issue will be resolved right away. What does this mean for farmers? More downtime, delayed harvests, and lost income. For small-scale farmers, this wasn't just a delay, it was a financial nightmare. Every minute counts, and every delay means a greater risk of losing a profitable year. Let's shift perspective for a moment. Imagine the broader ripple effect. When a farmer's tractor breaks down during harvest, it's not just one farm that suffers. The delay can affect suppliers, distributors, and even local communities that rely on that produce. That single broken tractor might mean empty shelves at grocery stores or skyrocketing food prices for consumers. But here's where it gets even more alarming. Farmers are left feeling powerless. They don't just lose time, they lose autonomy. Instead of focusing on their crops and livelihood, they're caught in a system where their machinery owns them, not the other way around. And in an industry as unforgiving as farming, where margins are already razor thin, These delays create a domino effect of losses that hit everyone in the chain. Farmers aren't just losing crops, they're losing trust in a company that was once their backbone. And this isn't just a logistical issue, but an emotional one, a breach of a relationship they relied on for generations. But it doesn't end there. If the equipment is deemed unrepairable, the farmer is left with no choice but to buy brand new machinery or parts at prices so high they could wipe out their savings or worse, bankrupt them. That's the cold, hard reality. How about the toll this takes on small-scale farmers? You see, these hard-working individuals don't have the luxury of big financial cushions or extra equipment lying around. They operate on tight budgets, often struggling to make ends meet. When their equipment breaks down, they can't just call for a quick fix, but they're all faced with a full-blown crisis. For these farmers, Johndeere's restrictive policies aren't just an inconvenience, they're a financial disaster. Many are forced to rely on outdated machinery because they simply can't afford the new, pricier models. Others are taking out loans just to cover repair costs, plunging them deeper into debt. But the financial strain is only part of the story. The emotional toll is equally devastating. For these farmers, it's not just about profits, it's about survival. They're fighting to keep their businesses afloat, protect their families, and preserve the way of life they've worked so hard to build. But the mounting pressure is pushing many to the edge. Frustrated with the lack of control, farmers are beginning to fight back. They started organizing and advocating for their right to repair their equipment. This was not just a technical fight, but a fight for autonomy. Meanwhile, farmers have joined forces with consumer rights groups and advocacy organizations, pushing for legislation that would force companies like Johndeere to provide access to repair tools, software, and diagnostics. This movement has gained significant traction in recent years, especially as more and more states introduced bills supporting the right to repair. One of the most significant victories came in 2022 when Colorado passed the first right to repair statute with a focus on agriculture. This was seen as a monumental win for farmers and set the stage for similar efforts in other states. However, the battle is far from over. Despite these victories, Johndeere and other major agricultural equipment manufacturers are not backing down. In fact, they've ramped up their lobbying efforts, spending millions to block similar legislation in other states. The company's arguments are simple. Providing access to repair tools could pose safety risks, lead to intellectual property theft, and result in improper use of their equipment. However, many farmers view these arguments as just another tactic to maintain control and maximize profits at their expense. They argue that these claims are nothing more than corporate fear-mongering and that giving farmers the tools to repair their own equipment is not just fair, but essential. And as the fight continues, many farmers are actively seeking out alternatives. Some have turned to smaller independent manufacturers who offer more flexibility and fewer restrictions. Others are exploring innovative ways to repair their equipment themselves, bypassing the need for expensive, authorized technicians. So where does this leave us? The fight for the right to repair is far from over, but the momentum is clearly on the side of the farmers. With each passing day, more and more farmers are waking up to the reality that they don't have to be at the mercy of big corporations like Johndeere. As the movement continues to gain traction, it's clear that this isn't just about fixing equipment. It's about reclaiming control over their own livelihoods. It's about farmers fighting for their right to choose how they maintain the equipment they rely on every day. And in the next few years, we may very well see more states pass their own right to repair laws, potentially reshaping the future of agriculture as we know it. The question is, where do we go from here? Will Johndeere and other manufacturers finally give in to the demands of the farmers, or will this battle drag on for years to come? And how will this fight impact the future of farming and the next generation of agricultural workers? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing battle.